Guys, what's going on? Andrew coming at you. Now, I'm going to give you a warning for the upcoming Swedish election. And this is an American who's lived over in Sweden for a while now. I watched my country change over the years. I watched our democracy get challenged by Donald Trump. I watched him try to overthrow the government. And the whole entire time, I had so many Swedes going up to me and other people in Europe like, what is happening with the US? And I agree with them that a lot of the stuff that's happening is crazy. But what has shocked me and blown my mind about Swedes and other Europeans I've talked to is they don't see the same things that have happened to us happening to their own political systems and structures, and they're telling themselves this could never happen here. The same thing that a lot of Americans would have felt just a few years ago, but even before the Trump presidency. And so I see a couple of the same things. Number one, in the states that led to Trump was that people were really displeased with the political structure that we had. We had this two-party system. It felt like if you had a Republican or if you had Democrats, it didn't really matter. Nothing was going to change. It was going to be the status quo, and you were just going to have to pick from these career politicians. Plus, government was on party lines. They were just arguing. A lot of times they were in a standstill, and really important decisions weren't getting made. That people wanted to throw a monkey wrench into the system, shock the system, as you will, as a form of protest. I really believe that that is why Trump won the first time around. Well, if we look at Sweden, there have been issues with the government here actually getting things done and forming little groups and then sometimes getting into standstills a little bit. And it feels that the majority of Swedes that I've talked to agree that the government hasn't been as efficient as it used to be in quite a long time. A political party, which is the Conservative Party in the States, really used the internet to their advantage. They had YouTube channels that were pumping their ideology through, and they had a certain strategy, which is like reactionary content. Top 10, own the libs. And a lot of the political debate, it's not even really a debate. It's about winning. It's about getting this one-liner. And anything that's, I call it like the TikTok mentality, like TikTok 15-second videos that's going to get reaction. That's really like liberals getting owned competition, like on YouTube or something like that, where you get to see all these clips, if you will. Well, I have seen a certain YouTube channel here in this space that is linked to a political party here in Sweden, where I think at the time when I first saw the video, they had 6,000 views, and now they or 6,000 subscribers. Now they have 80,000. The reason I saw the video is it was actually a paid sponsorship, so they were paying to have me see the video, so I went through and watched it because I always like to challenge my opinions. And it became very clear that this political party was using the same strategy that the Conservative Party was in the United States. So much so as well that as this person was talking, they said that Candace Owens was their hero, which was strange to me because even though you can say that like the conservatives in the States linked to this certain party might be similar, their philosophies are also very different in a lot of ways. That it felt like when she was praising Candace Owens, it was more like, don't bite the hand that feeds you, we say in the States. Don't say anything bad about the people giving you money. But they were using the same playbook, which I can't blame them. It's smart in a way because it had worked before. So I want you to keep that in mind. Now, the third thing I will say about this is you have to think of the political damage that could come from this, and I think that Swedes are already seeing this. For example, if the big rapid change happens in Sweden as far as one political party getting a lot of power or elected, I think the issue with that would be the damage it did to the country as far as people getting along. So I'll give you an example. Trump, people could say like, hey, Trump did some good things, and you can say this or you can say that. And this is before he even tried to like overthrow our government. Like there were things you could say that he did that might have been positive. You could make an argument of that. But the social damage, the amount of like arguments of people fighting each other back and forth and just the tearing us apart as a country, as a society, wasn't worth it. And I see the same possible things happening in Sweden and other countries where if these countries go too national, there's a chance that this is going to happen, and then it's really hard to hit the brakes. Number 4, I want to say, don't think that your democracy is untouchable. There were things in the States that we didn't see happening before it happened, and I believe that if Trump would have had a second presidency, he would have become a Putin. What did Putin do? Putin has people loyal to him everywhere, all through government, so he's always in power. He takes out people that aren't in power. Trump was in the middle of doing that. He was taking areas that were neutral. Like, they were historically, politically neutral. Heck, even the Secret Service that lost their text messages, it seems that they were also infiltrated. You can make an argument that the Supreme Court possibly could have been infiltrated with just Trump's boys, if you will, Trump's guys. the ones that Trump likes. And he was trying to do this to all branches of government. The warning is, just because you don't think that could happen in Sweden, there are things that we never saw coming, because we always thought that a president would always peacefully transfer over power and wouldn't lie like this. But now, also, we didn't think that the president would ever try to take that formality of trying to get Vice President Pence to deny the election results. It was some kind of loophole they saw in our government that I guess he technically could have done, but it wouldn't have been constitutionally legal. That could happen here. There could be a side effect here where there's something that Swedes have not seen that could go in. So if a whack job gets in, I'm not saying that Sweden has anyone compared to Trump, but if you get someone that uses that type of rhetoric, authoritarianism, that's another thing I want to say. 5, I see a rise of authoritarianism in Sweden. One political party was talking, and they wanted to have stop and frisk in high crime areas. They wanted to be able to search people's homes without a warrant. And I often found that there are some people in the Conservative Party. Now, I'm not saying traditional Republicans, but I'm saying like the hardcore Republicans now that really want police just busting down people's doors and stopping and frisking because it stops crime in these high crime areas. But it would also affect them. Maybe it doesn't affect them personally at first, but once you lead to a more authoritarian regime, then it affects you. Elections coming up. I'm not saying that every party or the party I'm particularly talking about is exactly like the Conservative Party, but I'm just saying be wary of what you wish for. Be careful what you wish for. And I think it's important that other political parties talk about certain issues that maybe they don't necessarily want to talk about, so it doesn't lead to maybe the possibility of what happened in the United States. So I think that democracies everywhere are being heavily challenged. And then the final thing I'm going to say is be skeptical of what you see online. From someone like me having a YouTube channel, I can't tell you the number of Russian bots I have popping in on my channel where I can see that the accounts were just created right away, or right after the first election where Trump was elected, or I'm sorry, after he said the election was fake or stolen. There's a concentrated effort on TikTok, on YouTube, for these bots to try to sway your opinion, to make you think one thing or the other, make you think that your idea is bigger or more people think or agree with you. That is something that is also happening. That doesn't mean there isn't a large group of people that think a certain way, but it's happening to cause chaos. Make no mistake that Russia will be heavily involved in this election, and it has been for a little while. So be curious of that, be vigilant. So that's all I have for you guys. That's my warning. You can tell me I'm crazy. It's never going to happen in Sweden. I'm totally wrong, but through my eyes, I see similar things happening. All right, guys, that's my video. I'll see you in the next one. Hej då!